Hello boys and welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the World Tour Silver Superstars League today because it is here in 6 days and there are coins to be made. I'm sure a lot of you boys know I have invested over 2 million coins into silvers for this tournament, and this video today is going to be about if you have invested, if you haven't invested and you want to make some coins, if you've club stock, if you've just bought a few, no matter what situation you're in, right? We're going to talk through how you can make the most coins out of the upcoming Silver Superstars League, because I'll show you some of these rises in a second. They were mental last time. For example, right, take a look at this Koita card, who essentially is just a great silver striker with rapid and quick step, a lot of pace, right? He was sat for most of the year around 1,500 coins. Boom, silver tournament, and he hits near extinct, near a 10x on your profit. Godfrey on the lower end is another great example. He was sitting basically near discard. Boom, silver tournament, hits 3,000 coins. And one more example who's already started to rise. If we look at this Cognac card, who was again near discard, hits near 10,000 coins for the silver tournament. And then after the silver tournament ended, he has been rising ever since to where he is today, sitting at near 4,000 coins. So these rises are mental. They might not be the same as last time. They could even be more. I'll break it all down in this video, right? Right, let's jump into it, boys. And let us start with timelines and what we're looking at, when we're looking to buy, when we're looking to sell, right? If we go to the live event, it's all based on this silver tournament here, which comes in about 6 days. This should be on Sunday at the end of this week, no matter when you're watching this, right? So with that in mind, we'll jump into later on in the video when we're looking to buy and sell the silvers in terms of exact timelines, but essentially we're obviously looking to buy before this tournament is out. Okay, in terms of the rest of the details, what is really important to note is, can you see there that it says it requires at least these 3 silver superstar icons, right? 3 of the World Tour icons. That can be any of the ones from season 1 or the ones from season 2. So in season 2, it means you have to get Pele, which is a lot of games, at least 40. It means you get Jairzinho, Carlos Alberto, Muller, Beckenbauer, and obviously in season 1 you had Yashin, Eusebio, and a few others, right? You just need 3 of these in your team. The reason this is really interesting is because how many people actually have 3 of these cards? A lot of you boys who play the game often will have at least 3, but you got to remember, not everyone's a sweat on this game, and they just want to jump on the silver tournament with for some rewards. So what I am interested in is, if not everyone has these silver cards, can someone be bothered going and playing 15 games, assisting a goal in 15 separate games using a German CDM? Like, can people be bothered to go and do these in squad battles just to play a tournament? I'm not sure everyone on the game will, right? So that is very interesting, and it possibly has me wondering, do we maybe selling the hype of this tournament? That's something I want to talk about as well, okay? The next thing in terms of details is, can you see on the far right, just under my face cam, where it says objectives? This is where the rewards will be for the tournament. We just don't have them yet, right? Last time, I'm sure you boys will remember, if you went to the objectives tab, even before the tournament was out, on seasonal, I believe, or it might even be on live events, there was a silver tournament section here which had all the rewards, and they included some mental stuff. Do you remember the 87 plus or 87 cap England hero pack? And had like promo cards in. They had some crazy just gamble packs. And this season, remember, it's Mexican for the World Cup, but it's centered around Brazil specifically. So imagine we got like an icon hero or promo Brazil card guarantee in there. That would be very interesting. I think the rewards are going to be huge on this, right? If the rewards are not as hype as we got last time, I do think could be worrying for the silvers, which is why you want to invest early now and look to possibly have the opportunity to sell into the hype early next week. I think we'll just get the rewards on Sunday. EA made the mistake last time of releasing the rewards early, which meant that we knew that these silvers were going to rise because of how good the rewards were. I think this time, the tournament's out on Sunday. I think they're just going to release the rewards on Sunday. Like I say, good rewards, silvers rise more. Bad rewards, silvers don't rise as much. Just for context as well, I've managed to find the rewards from last time on FUT GG. And very quickly, do you see this unknown here? That was the England Hero and Cornerstones player pack that I was talking about. Clearly, they don't have that data on FUT GG. But the rest of the rewards you can see here, some crappy stadium stuff. But it was a 100k pack for the group reward. There was a rare silver players pack in there. There was a 1 of 3 England pick in there. There was an 81 times 3, an 81 times 5, a 3 times 83, a deluxe season opener, Liverpool loan players pack. There was a 1 of 3 84 plus England player pick, which was great. Imagine we get that with Brazil again, right? With some of the cards like Eder Militao impact. Well, I guess he won't be impacted next Friday, but cards of similar nature, right? We might get a Vinicius or whatever. We don't know. In my opinion, with it being season 2, the rewards could be even better, and I hope that EA do make them even better, because we obviously love these silver tournaments just to play in for a little bit of fun and a little bit of respite from this like standard FUT Champs grind. Boys, now we have all that. I do want to jump into the graphs very quickly because I think it's telling how the cards moved last time. It could show how they moved this time, right? Back into the same players like Koita, pretty much all the silvers moved the same, but I'll tell you how some of them could move slightly differently, okay? This Koita, basically, as you can see, spiked around this time. And for reference, the silver tournament came out on the 19th, right? So can you see here, the 19th, the Sunday, is when the silver tournament came out. And that is when he peaked. And you'll see kind of similar patterns for more of the high-end silvers. 19th here is when Cognac peaks. And this Marseille, we're going to jump into a little bit later. But they're the bit like big meta silvers. They're the ones that have the best play styles that were going for 10,000 coins, right? Some of the lower end ones, as you can see, like Godfrey, they do peak on the 19th, kind of, but he actually went a little bit higher later on in the week. The reason for this is normally because, right, these really expensive silvers peak early, so people then don't want to buy them, and they look for alternatives like the slightly cheaper silvers like this Godfrey. And you'll see the silver players that are a little bit cheaper often spike just a day or two later, but can you see it's always towards the start of the week, okay? So what does this mean for us and our silvers? Well, like I say, I want to jump into exact buy and sell times, but it could actually mean selling in the hype might be even better, as the biggest rises seem to happen on the day of the tournament. And because a lot of people know this, you might get a lot of sell-off on the day of the tournament, possibly meaning that selling in the days before could be slightly better. I think it also depends, by the way, per card. I actually like some of these cards better than I like other ones, and I'll explain that right at the end of the video, because some of them, like I say, like Cognac, he's already up at 4,000 coins. So I like this one a lot less, but there are some absolute beauties in here that are still sitting really low, or really, you know, undervalued at least, that we could see some great rises in. And I'll show you who I like most at the end of the video, which I think if you've not invested in any silvers, that'll be the most important for you, right? But let's start with you boys that do have silvers. Let's say you've club stocked, you've gone unassigned, or you've just put some on the transfer list. This is, I think, how you play it, right? As we get towards Sunday and you've got cards here, you should first of all be lazy listing cards. This is my main account. I only log back into to this, the lazy list cards at the moment. And lazy listing just means I'm listing for way higher than what these silvers sell for. For example, this Chachoa, he's about 1,000 coins. So I'm just listing him at 2.5. It is unbelievable, boys, but you do actually get sales doing this, even though it's like ridiculous, right? Not very often. I might sell one in every 100 cards, but you do actually get sales doing this. So the first thing is start lazy listing your cards unless you've club stocked. If you've club stock, you might have just put cards in the club because you don't want the space on the transfer list. That is also fine. But when do you actually sell the silvers? Because yes, you can lazy list, but you're not going to sell all of your silvers. Right, okay. So again, the silver tournament comes out in 6 days on a Sunday. In my opinion, you need to sell over the course of a few days to get the most out of your silvers, especially if you've invested in quite a few of them. What I mean is, don't look to sell them all on one day at their exact high point. I don't think that's the idea. In my opinion, you've got to spread it out, and this is what I'm going to be looking to do to a degree. I'm going to sell some in the hype early and make less profit on the cards, as they won't be at their peak price, possibly. I'm going to sell some on the day they come out, and I'm going to even take the gamble and hold some of my cards that are on the cheaper end. So if I give you one example here, I might hold someone like this Roldan, this Buchanan. They're often on the cheaper end. This and Dye's often on the cheaper end. I might hold some of them cheaper cards even for 1 or 2 days into the tournament, like the Godfrey example I showed you from the last Silver Stars tournament, okay? So my sell time could be over the course of like 4 or 5 days, which means I will not nail the peak of every single silver card. And I think that's fine. The less silvers you've got or the less silvers you've invested in, you can look for more of that peak because you need to, you know, get out of the cards quickly. So if you've only got a few of the cards, you can get out quickly even within like 10, 15, 20 minutes by just selling them all at the exact peak, maybe on the Sunday when the tournament drops, right? If you've got more cards and you're more like me, look to spread out that sell time. But what if you don't have silvers and you want to buy more? I think you have one opportunity, right? We get silver supply one more time before the Silver Stars tournament comes out. And it will be on Thursday and Friday night, as we get Thursday night marquee matchups, and Friday night will be people opening their marquee matchups once again with the new set of players in the UCL teams, right? In my opinion, if you still want to invest or you haven't invested already, you need to target this Thursday and Friday buy window. Now realize, right? Yes, we get silver supply on Thursday and Friday. This will be very competitive, okay? I think you have one advantage if you wait until Thursday or Friday to buy these cards, is that you can see what prices all the silvers are sitting at, which means you can choose which ones are the best to invest in. So, for example, we're going to jump into some graphs in a second. Essentially, you know exactly what the silvers sold for in last tournament, right? You know exactly which ones were 10k and exactly which ones went to 1 or 2k, right? For example, this Langas hit really, really high. He hit like near 7 or 8,000 coins, I think. Whereas this Ndai didn't hit that high. He's more of a cheaper silver. But if this Ndai on Thursday is 350 coins and this Langas is 3,000 coins, who do you think's the better investment, right? It's obviously the Ndai, right? He's still a lot cheaper, even in comparison to that high point they can hit. So I think you should buy on Thursday and Friday one last time. However, if you've already got silvers, I don't think it's necessary to go and buy loads more. I think they've already started to rise across the board. There is only now a few silvers, which I want to talk about at the end of the video, which are still great investment opportunities. The rest of them, for example, if you've not already invested, they are maybe already up from what they are. For example, this Arthur Chavs was already been like 1.5 thousand coins for a lot of the days recently. He might come back down with silver supply, and if he does, it's a great investment Thursday, Friday. And I guess a quick note, by the way, if you do buy silvers on Thursday and Friday, and you're wondering, well, when do I sell these silvers? It's just the same as what we mentioned in the last tip for the people that are already holding silvers, right? If you buy them on Thursday and Friday, you can sell in the hype on Saturday and Sunday morning. You could sell it Sunday after the tournament is out. And then you could also sell a couple of them in the following days. It's the exact same sort of advice as I've given to people who have already bought silvers, right? Right, all good. Hopefully you know when you should sell and when to buy. But I did say, and I've kept saying, that I want to show you at the end some of the silvers that I like the most, who you could still make some really good coins on for the tournament, right? And it is all to do with the icons, in my opinion. These icons, there is, you need 3 of them in your team. Most people, if they can, they'll get more in their team because obviously, they're the icon cards. But it essentially means there's less space for just regular silver cards in your team, right? So for example, if you've got Pele, you're probably going to play him at cam, which means you don't need a silver cam, and so on for the rest of the silvers, right? And the rest of the silver icons, which means there's a few positions I like. And the second tip is that I don't think chemistry will matter as much. Imagine you have 4 icons in your team. In terms of leagues and nations, chemistry just won't matter as much, which means some of the silvers that are harder to link but more meta, I think are better investments than the cards that are like Premier League silvers that are already too inflated. So for example, this Langas plays in the championship. I don't think you need to worry about chemistry when you've got so many icons, okay? So don't worry about chemistry. You can avoid top 5 league silvers and prioritize cards like Cecilia, Ndai, and Langas, who play in off leagues, off nations. Well, not Cecilia, but you get the point, right? Who play in off leagues, off nations, that are still able to rise due to their meta value, even though they're not good at chemistry. And for positions that we like, boys, let's jump over to all the silver icons. And I want you to notice something, right? We've got a centre-back, a cam, a centre-back or right-back, but most people play this card at right-back. We've then got Pele, who's a cam. We've then got a right winger or left winger in Jorginho. We've got a striker in Eusebio, a striker in Muller, a goalkeeper in Yashin, and then a CDM or centre-back in Beckenbauer, and a right winger in Garincha. So positions to avoid, for example, could be right winger, as we have got at least 2 right wingers there that people will have at least one of, okay? Another position that you can avoid is cam. We've got Charlton, who was very popular last time, and we've got Pele, who'll be very popular this time. And another position you could even avoid is striker. But I think striker's safer than the other 2 because Muller doesn't look great this time, and not a lot of people got Eusebio last time. So I do think striker is a little bit safer than cam and right wing. The positions I do like, boys, number 1 is left back. Do you see how here we don't have a single left back, which means everyone, and I mean everyone playing the silver tournament, will pretty much need a left back. No one is playing 3 at the back in this tournament, right? The next main position I like is goalkeeper. Yes, we have Yashin, and yes, a lot of you boys do have him, but compared to the general FIFA population, because he was, from the season 1, if you're looking to get an icon quickly to play this tournament, you can't go and get Yashin, and a lot of people will need a meta silver goalkeeper. And the last 2 positions I like are centre-back. Yes, we have already got some centre-backs here, but people often don't like going completing icon centre-backs. They'll probably play Beckenbauer at CDM. And then you've got Carlos Alberto, who will probably play right-back. You've got Bobby Moore, who was the least completed icon last time. And they are all your centre-backs. So I love centre-backs as well. Left-backs are my favourite. Goalkeepers are great. The last position I would look at is CDM. Yes, again, we've got Beckenbauer, but as you can see, he's the only CDM there, and 99% of you rats are playing with at least 3 centre mids or DMs on every formation. So CDM, centre mid, centre back, left back, goalkeeper, and then my next favorite is striker. But I do think you should focus on those first ones if you have not bought silvers yet. So boys, there you go. Hopefully I can make a few million coins from my big investment on silvers, or maybe I'll even get coin wipe, boys. Who even knows, man? EA have been coin wiping so many people recently, so we'll have to go and see. But hopefully you boys on a smaller scale be able to make loads of coins this Sunday with the silver tournament, and maybe even choose to sell in the hype. Maybe do you think the silver tournament is over invested? Comment down below and let me know. If you can leave a like on the video, boys, it really does help us out. Hopefully this video did help you out. And actually, if you want to watch this video on screen now, it's a video I put out the other day about exactly how I silver trade. So a lot of these silvers that I bought here and also ones that I bought on the Trade to Glory account. It's a video basically going into detail on exactly how I bought them and how to look for like low prices, right? But boys, apart from that, like always, until next time, I'll see you all in a bizzle.